Hello again, this is Connie, and welcome back to my channel. Well, before I start this video, let me say just that apologies are probably in order because I haven't done a video in a few months, several months. I think the last video was my bedtime routine, if I remember correctly. But I had meant to do it a lot sooner because, as some of you who have been to my channel know, I retired in December of 2022. So I had wanted to do a video at the year mark, which was last year, December 23, and it's life kind of got in the way, and I didn't get an opportunity to do that. So here I am, over a year to share how life has changed in the over a year that since I've walked out of work for the last time. And there's a video on that if you want to see it. Of that last day that I went into work, and it was right that day that I retired. But now it's a little over that, and I wanted to share that how life has changed, and also how it hasn't changed in some ways, and how how living simply beforehand, how having that lifestyle pretty much affected in a positive way my retirement. So for those of you that are still working and are wondering about that, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom, just decided to become a stay-at-home mom, or maybe you're a lady or a gentleman that just is about to retire, or perhaps you are also retired. I think you'll be able to relate to this video, and hopefully what I have to share will probably be of help to you too. So if you give me this moment, I'll share that with you. Thing that has changed is, not surprisingly, I have a lot more time. I have a lot more time than I did before. I do tend to wonder, though, where the day goes. It's really funny, and you wonder, well, how did I find time to work? But you have a lot more time, and you get to use it as you want. And there are days that I get up and I wonder what I should do today. What should I've already cleaned my house, I've already done this, and there's always that little temptation, let me go to the mall, and walk around, and I won't buy anything, but I'll go to the mall. Well, I don't want to make it sound like you have no schedule, because I actually do have a schedule. Uh, I have my wash on, I do all the wash for the house on Mondays. Um, I try not to go to the store as much. I was at one point just jumping up and going to the supermarket because um, I had no, I needed certain things. And I've learned how to plan out meals a little bit better, where I don't have to do that. And sticking to the list that I have, it's been a lot better in that I've been able to actually also, in doing that, in planning the meals better, eating from the pantry, eating from the freezer, whatever you have batch cooked, and I've been able to save about $20 or $30 that's rolled right into the following week's budget for food. So that's been very helpful. I also have volunteer work that I do at a crisis pregnancy, and and you have church, and I have my practice. And my husband and I, as the weather is going to get better, we like to go and practice pickleball. I don't play with other people. I'm terrible. But there is a schedule. But it's also the thing where your time is your time, and you are able to just get to do things that you didn't have a chance to do, didn't have the opportunity to do. And it also almost becomes like part of your schedule. It's part of my schedule to have time to practice the piano, or the guitar, or the ukulele. And I look forward to that time. I look forward to my time once a day when I have a devotional with the Lord. And I look forward to that time. That's an important time. It's usually in the afternoon, but I've been trying to do it in the mornings. So yeah, you have more time, but in the same instance, even when you are doing something that you love, or you have your chores are a lot, I want to say they are not stressful because the fact that you can break them up, you're not under the gun to get things done all on the weekend. So you could spread out cleaning the house all week long, which is great. And it's nice because you're able to declutter, you're able to keep things neat, and there's an order to the house, which is really helpful. Now, let's go to the next thing, which is how being retired has changed my shopping. So I'll tell you a little story. So my husband and I recently, it's been cold, so you can't just pick up and go walking outside and hiking. It's just, it's been cold here, even in North Carolina. So we decided to go up to a bigger mall. And we said, let's walk around. We'll be walking around inside. Maybe we'll grab a little lunch. And we did. We did that. It was something special. And we decided to go where there was a Macy's. And we hadn't been to Macy's in a long time. And so we're walking around, my husband and I, and we kind of split up. He was looking at one thing and I'm looking at something else. And I'm walking through the part where there's things like women's suits and it's kind of more businessy. And I'm looking at all that and I'm thinking, that's an era that's gone by. Now I'm not going to say that I don't dress, presentable and everything, because I like that. I dress like that to go to church and to do some volunteer work, and even sometimes I like to if I'm just going to go to the doctor's office or shopping or whatever. Sometimes I just get in the mood to dress a little bit more than just jeans or leggings. So you'll wear something else. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing my nice pants right now, but I'm looking at all that and I'm thinking that's an era that has passed. And I told my husband, and he used to be a phone clerk on the New York Stock Exchange before his retirement, and he said, "Yeah, babe, I don't really. I look at the the suits and the ties and things, but what I have right now is enough for me." And we just had a party for our granddaughter just celebrated her 50th party, and in our culture, and well, my husband's American, but in our culture, the Hispanic culture, we have the quinceañera, so we celebrated her birthday in the sense of the sweet 16, but we do 15. So yeah, we were all decked out with all these nice shoes and dresses, and Bill wore one of his suits and a tie. But it's an era that has passed, so it affects the way I shop, where I think more in terms of, I like to, like recently I said, well, I'm going to get some solids tops for the spring and the summer, because I have a lot of things that are print, and I think I'm just moving into a different era altogether. And I said, let me get a little bit more of solids. So I went ahead and I bought them. I bought about 3 or 4 tops, and I was happy with that. It's a different era. It's a new era, but it's not. And they're nice little tops and everything, but it's a new era. So it does affect. You don't need a business suit. Not that I wore them that much, but at the time that I did, I was younger and I was working in certain areas, but today I don't really need it. It's not something that is called for. So we're just in a different chapter, and it affects that. I also want to say that even as a minimalist, there's things that you do buy, and I just recently, I was watching someone, I don't remember who it was, and they were talking about how we're consumers. So I mean, we're humans, so we're going to consume. It's minimalism means different things to different people. Simple living means different things to different people. So there's things I do want to get, and I will hold off in buying them, which is something that I found to be of value if you're going to live frugally. And I held off on one item and didn't get it, and now I'm happy that I did, and that was a handheld vacuum, which I haven't had one in many years, but I'm getting a little older, and it's a little bit, it's a little precarious to drag I'm going to be 64 next month, so it's a little precarious to carry this big vacuum back and forth up and down the stairs. So it's nice to be able to vacuum upstairs, but to actually use the little vacuum and pick up little spills and whatnot. You spill chips or rice or when you're transferring it. So that is something that helps me in at home to keep the house neat and everything. So yeah, shopping has become a little bit more um, thoughtful. You think about what you're spending because you're on a fixed income and you don't have money just to throw around. So that has changed in that. This next thing is something that I didn't totally expect, although I imagined that it was going to happen. And it's been subtle for the most part because I consider all of the close relationships that I have in my life to be wonderful anyway. Well, I find them enhanced, which is probably the best way that I can say that. And with my husband, for example, I wanted more time with him. Life is really short. You really get it. It's like someone said, you get just so many autumns in your life and just so many summers. And now I have a lot more time to spend with my husband. We don't have he goes and he plays pickleball, like, and not right now. I took advantage of the time that I could make this video because he went to fix the tire on his truck. So we're not like that, like constantly together. And he has his volunteer work also as in the jail ministry. But I have to be honest with you, I feel that absence of stress that any job can bring to you. You have stress because, oh, I've got to get to work and my car's broken. Oh, I have to go to work and it's snowing and this is going to happen and but you're in danger, or I got to get this done, or whatever stress that comes with the work with your job. As a retiree that's not been in my life for over a year, it feels almost like it's another life altogether. So that's affected me in that I am a lot more relaxed, and I'm not as jittery. And my husband says, "All of a sudden you say hi to everybody," because I do. I'm a lot more easygoing and a lot more. I'll say to him, "Oh, why don't we invite our friends over, for dinner?" He comes over and he says, "You know what? I told them that if they wanted to come, would you have a problem with that?" And I had been making a big dinner. I said, "Tell them to come." And it's wonderful because I feel like, well, the house looks presentable, and I have a lot more time. Sometimes I batch cook, so that absence of stress and that combination with a little more time and the fact that you are filling your life now with those that you want to fill your life with, including, for example, our kids who we have a daughter-in-law and a son that live here, and then we have another son and daughter-in-law that live up north. And our son up north was planning a trip to Niagara Falls. And he said, "Why don't you guys come? Why don't you guys come? We have room for you. Why don't you guys come?" And in the past, I'd be like, "Well, I can't get time off from work. I can't do this." And, well, did you really, and now it's like, okay, we're there, So it's been, and we're looking forward to this adventure, and it's something that you're not going on a trip, you're making memories with someone, and we haven't really been going on trips. Like I said, we don't spend a lot. We're very careful about how we spend money. So if we go on a trip, it's planned out pretty good. Occasionally I'm sure we're going to just hop in the car and go somewhere, but it has really changed a lot of how when you want to be somewhere, it's very different. So that lack of stress has been really enhancing the relationships that I have. And I would have to include the Lord with that, because I feel there's a gratitude there that was always there, but it's not obscured by so much stress. For me, stress was a big problem. So I would have to say that, yes, that it changes that. If you're on the verge of retiring, that's something to look forward to. Quick note, in case you're wondering what these are fairy lights. I like to put them on sometimes. My granddaughter had them in her room, and I said, "Oh, I'd like to have that too." So I just picked them up. They were hardly anything in Walmart. But anyway, the last thing that I want to talk about is also the way that you look at yourself is also something that changed, at least for me. You know, when you work, there is a certain way that you look at yourself. You are this person, this title. You are the way other people look at you and such, you know. But as a person who is now retired, that's all over. What I read a long time ago was over the cliff. It goes over the cliff of irrelevance. It doesn't matter now. Whatever you had on business cards, whatever was on your door, whatever was your title, that's gone now. That's all gone. And some people, I think, have a problem with that, with understanding that when they retire. And I think that gives them a little bit of a problem when they retire. I look at myself as just Connie. You know, I look at myself as a homemaker, wife, mom, grandma, Christian. You know, I just look at myself as that, you know, and it has been a wonderful chapter. It's been wonderful with that. It really gives you a new purpose. It gives you a new way of looking at things, where you know that part is over, and now we're into a totally different part. And it is, I don't have to always be productive. I don't always have to be productive. I can just be a Dean Koontz fan and sit and read for the rest of the afternoon, if that's what I want to do, until dinner time, you know, and that is fine. I can just go pick up the grandkids. If my daughter-in-law calls me, she can't make it to go pick up my grandson or whatever, I can go do that. So you have a new title. You have a bunch of new titles. And that's another way that your life changes. And having been exploring the simple life for quite a while, that's been a part of it, has been understanding that we're just people. We're allowed to just be people. You know, we're just allowed to live life. And for me, that's been a very positive and good change. So I'm going to leave you with all those thoughts. Bill's here. I see his truck. I guess that they fixed it. Maybe it's not his truck. Looks like it's his truck. Well, I don't know. Oh, it's his truck. He's coming out of it. Anyway, I will leave you with those thoughts. And I hope that you give me just a like if you liked it, like the video, or if you might consider subscribing. And if you are also retired, how has your life changed? In what ways has it changed? Leave me comments. I would love to see that. So until I talk to you again, may God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Next video.